Well, first of all, thanks for your thoughtful reply. Um, the use of the words diversity and variety are kind of arbitrary, but I do understand what you mean. But I do have some things to say about it. I don't agree entirely with your assessment. Um, First of all, in terms of variety, there's some types of variety that are negative, okay? Especially things that have negative externalities. For example, we don't want a variety of different criminal behavior, right? We don't want to have a variety of people. Some are murderers, some are bank robbers. We want people to conform to the law, all right? So there is a certain amount of conformance we would like to see. What we may be arguing about here is where we think people should conform and where we want to allow freedom, okay? Because we have to agree that in order to have a cohesive society, people have to conform somewhat to rules of some kind. The rule of law at a very minimum. And then there are other things where we want to leave freedom, because freedom is what, to a large extent, promotes happiness, okay? Or can promote happiness. But where liberals see freedom needing to be constrained somewhat is when people are free to create negative externalities. That is, we don't want people to be free to pollute the environment. We don't want people to be free to create market bubbles in the housing market. We want to have some regulations. We want to have some means of keeping the system within normal operating constraints. Okay, we don't want to have the system running out of balance or whacking against rails and becoming unstable. We believe in a fair degree of economic security and stability, as well as other kinds of security and stability. And those things are important for people to develop within a civilization. Stability and security are such important concepts in advanced civilizations, because without them, people wouldn't go to school, people wouldn't be motivated to specialize in very esoteric skills, that would not be in demand in a world in chaos. All right, so there has to be a fair amount of economic stability and security in order for a civilization to prosper. So we're not in favor of just letting the market run wild and free. We do believe there are some rules, and we do believe there are some operating conditions that, frankly, we need to keep the economy within. All right, we don't want to run up big market bubbles. We think that's bad. We'd like to stop them before they occur. All right, and the way we do that is through regulations and other means. We believe that the free market also has a tendency, with the U.S., what we've been doing is we've been undervaluing labor, and that has been a large source of the decline in the economy recently, is because basically we've run out of people to lend money to, and people aren't getting paid enough. So we need to figure out how we're going to raise the value of labor, and that may be unions, that may be other things, but we've been attacking unions, we've been preventing people from organizing, and we've let corporations have the most power. Now that is a system that's definitely out of balance, right? And corporations definitely have too much power, and the power to do what they want. With that power comes the freedom to do what they want, and that's what they want all along: the freedom to do whatever they want and not worry about externalities. Don't worry about the environment. Don't worry about what happens to the economy. Don't worry about what happens to the workers they lay off. Don't worry about anything. Don't pay taxes. Don't do nothing. Just collect profits, make money, and that's be free to do it any way that makes them the most money. And that's what they wanted. That's the kind of variety that the conservatives want. But, it's not variety. It's a very false kind of variety, because the market will impel people to conform. The market is a force of its own. And the market while the free marketers will say, well, the free market will just introduce all this variety and everything else. Well, that's not really true. What the market does is it impels people to conform to the price structure of the market, all right? To conform to the market, to build for volumes and to build what other people are asking for. That's all supply and demand. The market is very much a case of game theory, where there are winners and losers. And once you shake out all the losers, you've got a very small number of winners, and they more or less mandate what's going to be available in the market. And the logic of the market means people must conform. So rather than conservatives, they talk the game of variety. They say they're in favor of variety, but they're in favor of a very shallow kind of variety, because what they want to do is they would rather than have a rational decision-making process for action, for collective action, especially for government action or collective action, they want to constrain people so that they're only able to work within the market, and then the market is going to mandate their behavior to a certain extent. So they'll say, here are the jobs, they're available, here's the best job you can get, and that's it. This is as much as you're ever going to get paid, blah, blah, blah. You're an individual, and you're just a cog in the free market, and you have no capability of trying to fix things if you think they're broken, or to improve the economic conditions if you think there's some way collective action could improve it. It's just you're not going to do that, okay? So it just sets up a system where winners continue winning and losers continue losing, and it's not a system that's fair like that. Liberals think that the system has to be fair to a certain degree, in that especially newcomers have to have opportunity. That is, we are very much against old money, entrenched power. We want to have people work their way up through opportunity. We're very much in favor of fostering opportunity and providing equal opportunity. It's a very hard thing to measure, but it's why we want schools. It's why we want the public infrastructure. We know that there are things that we can do in the public sector to improve the economic condition that we believe we should. We should improve the lives of people. That's what government is there for, and not just to say, well, here's a variety of all these actors in the market, but we're not going to touch the market at all. Right? So you'll have a variety of different actors in the market, and the ones that will win, of course, will be the ones that will take over, and then you'll have no variety. You'll just have the winners and the losers. All right? So much for variety. Anyways, I've probably spoken enough. That's all for now.